Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Return of Wolverine, issue number 505. Damn! This is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen, and there's not even that much detail in there. It's like, it's just boom, right there. Dressing, picture, black. That's pretty cool. Hey, make sure you read this before you read this. Just saying. All right, let's get started on this. So we got writer Charles Soule, penciler Steve McNiven, Jay Leiston on inks, and Laura Martin on colors. VC's Joe Sabino does the letters. Cover artists are Steve McNiven and Sonny Rowe, and there are two variant covers, one by Adi Granov and another by Adam Kubert. I don't know which one of them did this one, to tell you the truth. This is the second variant cover, so I imagine it's, well, the second cover, so I guess this is Adi Granov. Don't want to give the wrong credit where it's due, but anyway, this particular issue is called Heaven. So yeah, Wolverine goes and finally gets a chance to meet at least a hologram of Persephone, but never actually gets to meet the Persephone herself. Is she on this space station? Is she not on the space station? Am I supposed to care? This comic book tries really hard to finally make up for 4 issues of Wolverine being not Wolverine. Wolverine, like, there's a couple cool moments where every single cool moment that Wolverine had in these previous 4 issues, including this one, is where he's in his own mind and he's looking at the jail cells with all the different people, you know, like the different versions of Wolverine, like, let me out, let me out, let me out. No, you need me. Hey, I'm the one you need, otherwise you're going to die again. And, you know, those are always the coolest ones. Well, that happens in here also. There are a couple of moments. It's like, you know, Wolverine's trying to be a badass. He's trying to be, you know, really mean and whatnot. There's one, we get to see how he gets resurrected. Basically, just for the sake of conversation, sorry, spoiler right here for how he gets resurrected. Because I really don't feel like this comic book is worth picking up just to find out how he got resurrected. It's basically Persephone who resurrects him. Yeah, she's able to bring people back to the dead, and then somehow his healing factor was able to bring him back from the dead. Here's the problem. Wolverine had no healing factor. When Wolverine died, I'm sorry, I read the comic book. The thing is, Charles Soule wrote the comic book. So what the hell? He had no healing factor, but she resurrected him. What, that automatically jump-started his healing factor? I'm hoping at some point, just for the sake of continuity, we get some indication at some point sooner or later that actually explains to us how his healing factor started up again. Because Reed goddamn Richards wasn't able to jumpstart that damn thing. It's like, yeah, you're going to die. I'm going to suggest you have some bandages and don't pop your claws and try not to get yourself shot and stuff. And it's like, you know, yeah. No. We don't get any explanation for that. She resurrects him, of course, by them pulling him out of the adamantium. That made it so that she was able to resurrect him, and he, you know, was able to walk around because he was in the ground. Otherwise, he would have just been rezzed inside the freaking adamantium thing and suffocated again. Apparently, Wolverine doesn't need to breathe anymore. You know how they're always like, oh, the only way to kill him is to drown him? I don't like that idea, because that should only put him in stasis as far as I'm concerned. But hey, and for crying out loud, the Hulk can get gills. Why can't he? And gill-like substances. Gill-like, you know, organs. Anyway, there's no reason why Wolverine shouldn't be able to have some kind of a thing that at least puts him in stasis until he can get out of the freaking water. Anyway, that was always the way to kill him, apparently, or cutting off his head, because, you know, there can be only one. Here, he's off in space for a really long time. Sorry, guys. I actually, and this is a satellite space station, and I worked in GPS for 4 years, almost 4 years. All right, I'm going to say almost 4 years, just so somebody doesn't go and freaking dox me. But like, he only worked there for like 3 years and what, 9 months, 10 months, something like that. I don't know. Just be like, oh, see, he's a phony. Anyway, doxing aside, none of this really made any kind of sense. None of this really worked for me. This was this last issue where Wolverine starts saying a couple things. He makes a couple of threats here and there, and it's like, you know, we had 4 issues of Wolverine. Oh, so like, who am I? What do I do? Am I a nice guy? Oh, I want to give you a kiss. It's like, what the flark is going on here? This was not Wolverine. All of a sudden, in this issue, we're supposed to completely make up for it. Look, by the end, sure. By the very last, you know, couple of pages, maybe the last 10 pages or so, there was some badass action enough that made me say, oh, yeah, I get it now. I get it now. Because, like, yeah, he does get nice and violent. Yeah, they're still doing this thing. Wow, he got nice and violent at the end. And it was pretty cool. He was actually saying some cool things and everything, but he doesn't get to Persephone, so Terra therefore still exists and whatnot. It's just brings the satellite down and asks for a beer, and then he shows up at the X Mansion at the very end. You want to see where this goes, you got to jump over to this, which is the exact moment continuation. You get to see who that is who actually answers the door, because somebody answers the door, right? You get to see who answers the door in this one. Unfortunately, it came out the exact same week, so yay us. This was not a great comic book. Like there were a couple of moments, like I said, where it felt like Wolverine was actually back, but honestly, it's too little, too late. Way too little, too late. Look, man, you know how I do my reviews? Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and right away I tell you the comic book that I'm about to read, and then I give you a quick blurb about it so you know, did I like it, did I not like it? Oh, he didn't like the comic book? F this guy, and you click and go someplace else. Somebody who agrees with you. Or you just simply listen, you know, oh, well, let me listen to what this guy's got to say, you know, and then, you know, it is what it is. Some of you guys decide to actually listen to the freaking ads, which is the only way that you're capable of actually paying me for all the work that I do. But no, it's fine. No, there's a lot of people out there just absolute douchebags. And they think, yeah, this guy, I absolutely deserve free content from this guy. Anyway, all that being the case, the reason why I'm even bringing that up is some people, they, you know, hey guys, it's Professor Bill, and you know, I got this comic book that I'm reading here, Wolverine, and they'll just have like, you know, an image up sometimes instead. It's like, oh, so you didn't actually buy the comic book. Let me guess, you downloaded it, probably for free, right? Anyway, you get some of the worst freaking people in the world sometimes, man. You get some of the worst. I may not like the comic book, and I may be telling you it's not a great comic book to buy unless you really love this cover, which would be a good reason to buy the comic book. But at least I buy my comic books. So anyway, yeah, they're the guys who will sit there and they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, there's this and you know what? I like the comic book because it did such and such and such. And yes, I'm totally casting shade on a lot of other comic book reviewers. People who need to go over 10 minutes for every single. If I've got a lot to say, you hear me talking. I'm talking fast usually. I'm like bang, bang, bang. Not everybody can talk fast. No blame on them for that. But just wasting time and padding a freaking video so we can get to 10 minutes or longer so they can put in multiple ads, which I guess you guys probably aren't going to watch either. Not everybody, but if you're going to watch somebody's videos, you should watch their ads. I'm just saying. It's the only way they get paid. If you click off of an ad, they don't get paid. That being said, yeah, dude, freaking, they'll sit there and put multiple ads. I only have the one ad in the beginning of the video. There are people who have 5 ads. Every 2 minutes, they'll have an ad. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to try and keep it over 10 minutes for the sake of trying to get that 10-minute, cushion so that they can put in multiple ads to try and make the most money off of each video. That's not me. That's not me. And God willing, I will never do that nonsense. Look, man. That being said, the reason why I'm bringing that up, because that's kind of what this series has done. This is the only issue that's actually any good. I know I'm sitting here saying I don't like this issue, whatnot, no reason to get it. What I'm actually saying, though, is the other 4 issues can straight kiss off for all I care. This was the only one that was actually any good. You're pretty much going to get everything you need in this. All the other stuff was fluff and it was nonsense. There's no point in it. If you want to grab the Return of Wolverine and actually understand how Wolverine came back, this is how you do it. This issue right here. The other 4 issues, pointless, padding, useless, just to make it into a trade paperback. This could have been a goddamn one-shot. That's the kind of stuff that pisses me off. Before it actually turns to 10 minutes, just to prove a point, I'm going to bounce. Guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.